Okay, this is question 3 of the Unit 3 Trig test. So this question was um, to solve this expression. So it was 10 cos 2x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. So when I first looked at this question, I knew that there was a double angle identity because of the 2x within the 10 cos x. So it was 10 cos 2x. So because of the 2x, I knew that it was a double angle identity. And because it was cos, I knew that the angle identity that I would be using is cos times x plus x. So that's what I did. So I subbed in x plus x for the 2x because I knew it was a double angle identity. So my second line was 10 cos times x plus x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then I expanded that, so it was 10 cos x 10 times 10 cos x minus 10 sine x times 10 sine x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. And the sine x's come from the cos times x plus x double angle identity. Then I was able to collect like terms, so it was 10 cos squared x minus 10 sine squared x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then I knew that I knew that the problem here was that there's a sign within like the line. So I knew that I wanted to get rid of it because I want everything in terms of cos, so I can solve for x later on. So I knew that there was an identity where 1 minus cos x, squared x was equal to sine squared x. So that's what I did. I subbed in 1 minus cos squared x for sine squared x. So then my new line was 10 cos squared x minus 10 times 1 minus cos squared x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then I did again 10 cos squared x. Then I expanded from the previous line, the 1 minus cos squared x. I expanded it, so then it was negative 10 plus cos squared x minus 8 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then again, I collected like terms, so it was 20 cos squared x minus 8 cos x plus 1 minus 10 is equal to 0. Then I noticed, I was like, hey, I have a quadratic now. So I knew that it was 20 cos squared x minus 8 cos x minus 9 is equal to 0. And in my opinion, I think that it's easier for me to solve for x and like find the two factors when I write everything in terms of x. So what I did was I just subbed in x for cos in order for it to just make it visually easier for me to solve. So then I transform this into 20x squared minus 8x minus 9 is equal to 0. I found two numbers that would multiply to negative 180 and add to negative 8. And those two numbers were negative 18 and positive 10. Then I sub those in, and I'm solving by decomposition to find my two factors. And once I did that, I found my two factors. So x is equal to negative a half, and x is equal to 9 over 10. And here I know that I have to find my find my angles. So I knew that I was like, oh hey, x is equal to negative 1 over 2. That's a special triangle. So I knew that that was a solution. But x is equal to 9 over 10, I knew that wasn't a solution because that's not one of the ratios for the special triangles. So I disregarded the x is equal to 9 over 10. So then from there, I figured out which triangle was negative 1 over 2, and it was the it was the 1, 2, and root 3 triangle, where there's pi over 3 and pi over 6 as for the angles. And I knew from SOHCAHTOA that cos is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. But because the x is equal to negative 1 over 2, I knew that cos couldn't be positive, which means that if we're looking at the CAST rule, which I drew, the CAST, I knew that it couldn't be at C or A. And I always get confused with the quadrants, so I could be wrong, but it wasn't in the fourth or first quadrant. So I knew that it was an S or T. S and T. So I drew out my triangle and I labeled it. I knew that, again, negative 1 was the adjacent side and the hypotenuse was 2 and root 3 was the opposite side. So then I labeled my triangle. I knew that from that, I knew that pi over 3 was the angle that I would be looking at. So I first did pi over 3 minus pi, which for my first solution I got 2 pi over 3. And for the second solution I got pi over 3 plus pi is equal to 4 pi over 3. And those were my two solutions.